Conflict and hardship is part of life. Amen? Yeah, the first thing you've got to realize is this is just part of it. Those who've gone on to do things that are beyond what people could imagine have some type of moral compass. And I will say this, motivation is one aspect, but motivation is temporary in my opinion. You can come here and get motivated. What you have to do is get inspired so that your mindset changes, you alter your course, and you get a level of commitment that says no matter what, I'm not giving up. No matter what, I'm not quitting. Let's just start with marriages. Case in point, my bride and I just celebrated 34 years last week. Thank you. I think in some regards, I'm the old line around Turning Point, USA. I'm that crazy uncle that travels the world, does some things. And look, we still do it. God's blessed us with 5 children. We got 4 granddaughters and another one on the way. It just, our commitment and resolve to continue to fight for the freedoms that we have in America matter. So how do you endure? How do you continue to persevere when it gets tough? When you're facing persecution? My wife and I still have a home in Iraq. We have lived that life to the point of, we know what it's like to be shot at. I've had mortars dropped on me. With our family in Iraq during the fighting with ISIS, we had to hide for 3 days because we had sufficiently hurt their feelings and messed up some of their plans. And can you imagine telling your children? That summer we were like, hey kids, we're going to Iraq. Instead of Camp Kickapoo, it's Camp Iraq. I never forget my son as we were prepping them and training them. Hey, you have to know how to put on kit, load an AK, and here's what a tourniquet is, because that's just real life over there. If there's CPS here, welcome to my world. And I never forget my son came up to me and said, Dad, are you going to put us anywhere where ISIS can get us? And I said, son, are you feeling fear about that? He goes, yes, sir. He's 11 years old. I said, well, it's a normal feeling, but you've got to back away from that because right now in America, are you in any danger from ISIS? Right now. And he said, well, no, sir. I said, that's correct. Then don't waste your time and energy worrying and being fearful about something that's not happening yet. I said, live in the moment right now, enjoy your life. But if something does happen, hey, Dad'll be the first person to tell you, saddle up, son. Suck it up, buttercup. We got some action happening. And you know what? That actually happened. I was like, hey, boo. Yeah, they're trying to get us. And we hid for 3 days. You know what he told me about a year later after his therapy in back in America? He said, Dad, remember when you told me about all that? And I said, Dad, he said, all that went down? He goes, I was never afraid in the moment. I said, that's right, son. You had a great mindset. So look, what many of you fear could happen in the U.S., and it can, if we continue to allow poor leadership of liars and hustlers and scam artists to make decisions that will affect our life, we will lose our freedoms. It's a plane ride away for you to understand how desperate things could get. That's why, and everybody here is so motivated, when we leave here, you must be inspired and ready to continue in the fight. I've been known as being the world's fastest gun disarm man, the guy who hunts pedophiles. The greatest thing I've ever done, though, is be a dad and a husband. A faithful husband. I've never cheated on my wife or been cheated on. and a dad to my kids. And I'll tell you something, we need that in America. We need to return to the values that our nation was founded on and based on, where there was a time of shame and guilt for doing wrong things, not a justification for the worst atrocities. And I think hurting children from the womb to outside is the worst thing that you can do. And it's not a right, a left, a black, a white, a rich or poor. None of that. It is a God-given responsibility for us to defend children at all times. If nothing else, that's the commonality. And people